Hi everyone, here are 10 fun facts about Arizona. Number 1. The Saguaro Cactus, which can only be found naturally in the Sonoran Desert, is protected by the Arizona Native Plants Law. Because these giant tree-like cacti can take a very long time to grow and may have been alive for up to 200 years, they can't easily be replaced. If you are caught vandalizing, destroying, or removing one, you can receive up to 6 months in jail or up to a $5,000 fine. I wonder if anyone's told this little bird. Property owners can only remove them if they've gotten permission from the Arizona Department of Agriculture. Better to just leave them alone so that everyone can enjoy their majestic beauty. Number 2. Arizona leads the nation in copper production. The top mine in the U.S. is Morenci in Greenlee County. A few other notable mines are Safford in Graham County and Sierrita in Pima County. The state of Arizona produces about 68% of the copper produced in the United States. The completion of the Southern Pacific Railroad made copper mining in Arizona more economically sensible, as they then were able to transport their goods to the other parts of the country. Number 3. Petrified Wood is the Arizona state fossil since 1988. Petrified Forest National Park in northern Arizona is home to one of the largest and most colorful concentrations in the world. During the late Triassic period, the area was covered with a forest of massive conifers known as Aracarioxylon arizonicum. Almost 225 million years ago, logs from these trees were washed into ancient river systems. They then were quickly covered in sediment, which greatly slowed the decaying process. As waters flowed by, minerals such as silica permeated the tree's cells and slowly turned them into quartz. Petrified wood found in Arizona is sometimes called rainbow wood, as the minerals from the area combined with the quartz. Limonite caused yellow hues and hematite reds. Small spherules of hematite interwoven in the quartz can create a purple shade. Number 4. The Ringtail Cat is the official state mammal of Arizona. This cute little member of the raccoon family is smaller than a house cat, weighing on average between 1.5 and a little over 3 pounds. With tail and body measuring about the same length, they are roughly 30 inches long. Sporting a brown to grayish back with a lighter colored tummy, their magnificent tail is ringed in black and white. These little guys are mainly nocturnal and tend to stick to themselves as adults. Number 5. During the 60s, London decided to replace their bridge. Since the bridge had been built before cars, it wasn't quite equipped to handle modern traffic. So, the London Bridge was literally falling down. To recoup some of their loss, a London official decided to try and sell it in the United States. The mastermind behind the recently created Lake Havasu Resort decided it would be a great publicity stunt to attract tourists to the area. The bridge was disassembled, shipped to America, and rebuilt brick by brick. Number 6. Oreavi is the oldest Indian settlement in the United States. The Hopi Indians founded it sometime before 1100 AD. In the 1800s, contact with outsiders greatly increased, along with modern influences. Disagreements between the Hopi who wanted to maintain their more traditional way of life and the ones more willing to embrace the modern ways led to a split in the village. The latter known as Old Oreavi, the former New Oreavi. If you plan on visiting the village, they ask to respect their no photography policy. Photos shared here were found on the public domain. Number 7. The McMath Pierce Solar Telescope was the world's largest solar telescope for nearly 60 years. Located at Kitt's Peak Observatory, the telescope was built to observe the sun, but was sensitive enough it could also be used to observe bright objects in the night. The building's main instrument was a heliostat, which tracks the sun's movements through the sky. From there, light moves down the shaft to a mirror that reflects an image to an underground laboratory. Unfortunately, the National Solar Observatory reorganized and the telescope was decommissioned in 2016. Number 8. At one time, camels were used to transport goods across Arizona. In 1857, U.S. Secretary of War Jefferson Davis received a grant to buy almost 3 dozen camels. These camels were brought in from Egypt and Turkey and were used for exploration in the area, as they were able to go much longer periods without water than the native horses. From these camels, the U.S. Army Camel Corps was born. The camels proved so reliable that they increased the fleet to nearly 100. Once the Civil War started, the camels were taken and sold in California to businesses, farmers, and zoos. A camel handler named Haji Ali, called Haj Ali by American soldiers, bought a few and used them for carrying loads back in Arizona. Historians believe they eventually ended up roaming the area and were shot by hunters. There is a monument to Haj Ali and his camels at the Quartzsite Cemetery. Number 9. Vulture City, Oatman, and Tombstone are just some of Arizona's ghost towns. Vulture City, near the now defunct Vulture Mine in Maricopa County, was Arizona's top gold producer. The mine produced 340,000 ounces of gold and 260,000 ounces of silver between 1863 and 1942. With a population of around 5,000, crime was rampant. Murderers and thieves were punished by hanging from an old ironwood tree named the Hanging Tree. Now privately owned, tours can be scheduled. The village of Oatman was started by miners in 1915. Named after Olive Oatman, a young girl from Illinois who had been captured and enslaved by Indians when they massacred her family in 1851. Later, she was adopted by the Mojave, who tattooed her face in the tribal custom. She was released in 1856 at Fort Yuma. Fire tore through the boomtown in 1921, burning down many of the town's smaller buildings. As mines closed and traffic dwindled, the town was left pretty much abandoned by the 1960s. Today it's a tourist town, complete with Old West shootouts and free-roaming donkeys. Tombstone, nicknamed the town Too Tough to Die in Cochise County, is Arizona's most famous ghost town. Founded as a silver mining camp in 1877, it was Arizona's biggest producer. Populations rose from around 100 to more than 10,000 in just a few years. During its heyday, Tombstone offered many of the same amenities as larger cities, including 4 churches, 3 newspapers, many gambling and dance halls and brothels, and a mind-blowing 110 saloons. Close to the Mexico border, it became a hotspot for smuggling stolen cattle and goods across the border. When outlaws robbed a train, killing 2, Deputy U.S. Marshal Virgil Earp and brothers Wyatt and Morgan, as temporary deputies, pursued them, culminating in the gunfight at the OK Corral in 1881, where the Earps and friend Doc Holliday shot and killed Tom and Frank McLaury and Billy Clanton. Today, the main industry is tourism. Number 10. Turquoise is the official state gemstone. Native Americans began producing turquoise over 1,000 years ago, making jewelry, beads, and small sculptures, among other things. Arizona is the world's leader in gemstone quality turquoise. The blue-green stone has a somewhat waxy surface and can be found throughout the state. In closing, thank you for watching our video. We hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please like, subscribe, and comment below. We'd love to hear your suggestions for future topics. Thanks, and have a great day. We'll see you next time.